build up your muscles. Yeah? I did this for about 5 to 10 minutes each night for about 3 months straight. You guys do it for about a month. Yeah? You could do this at the pub. You could do this at home watching telly. You could do it in the bedroom, whatever floats your boat. Go like that. Yeah? And what you're doing is you're building it up. You're building up your muscles, okay, and your hand coordination, okay? This will help you, guaranteed. All right, now when you have a pair of scissors, you can practice at home, putting the scissors on top, like that, okay? Now, with scissor overcombing, the key thing is making sure that you're having, especially the tension screw, right here, to the edge, right here, to the spine, and working up. And practice up in the air at home, okay? Just practice. You want to keep everything in unison, all right? Now the thing is, if you're not doing Pac-Man. Don't do you know Pac-Man? Right? Thank God, I'm not showing my age. The thing is, you're not trying to do Pac-Man, going across. You're doing this like so. Okay? That's the key thing. All right? So practice. Remember, barbering is a craft, a skill. It takes many years to develop, many years. It's not just like, you know, I think a lot of times what I notice with a lot of people, they're thinking, oh, it's like quick and easy. You know, like social media, you know, Instagram famous and all that, you know, do it for 5 minutes and boom. You collect a, you know, 6 million, you know, pound salary or whatever. The thing is, barbering is a craft and skill that we develop over time. And really, especially scissor combing, it's, to me, I love it because you're just really smoothing everything out, developing it. So remember, you know, it's all about progress. Okay, cool. What else do you guys find tricky?
Different growth patterns.
Different growth patterns, yeah.
And in terms of like one client might want the same haircut as a different client, same picture in, but it's just not achievable, you know, and they want certain look and hair sticks out where it shouldn't do and controlling that.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so dealing with different growth patterns. And also with clients and also the client's expectations, right? So how many times have you had a client bring in a picture? Yeah? Alright, tell me about it.
A lot of young lads come in and they've got like photos of Instagram, they're like, I want this. And
yeah, right?
Get the square head and the model hasn't. And
yeah, so what do? You just go for it anyway?
No.
No, what do you do?
What it would look like. Put the thumb on the face of the photo. Julie.
What happened?
I put my fingers over the face.
Yeah, on the photo.
Yeah.
I teach that.
Yeah, that's perfect. You know? But the thing is, that's what, okay, now this is what we have to realize. What type of barber, you need to, first ask the question to yourself. What type of barber are you going to be today? And you ask that question every day. The reason why is because you have two choices. Yeah, you can just be a barber or you could be a professional barber. Now, what I mean by this is, okay, what's your name, young lady?
Donna.
Hi, Donna. I'm Sid.
You met Donna last year. Sid, Donna's actually working at an industry now.
Oh, perfect.
She was in class of 19.
I'm not trying to be rude, Donna. I can barely remember what happened yesterday. Okay, I reached a point in my life where I killed too many brain cells, yeah? So I'm sorry if I don't remember you from a year ago, Julie.
Sorry.
Okay, so what we're realizing is, Donna, okay, now, when I ask you this, what type of barber do you want to be? It's like, well, listen, if you have a problem, right, you're sick. Yeah, what do? You go to the doctor, right, for the advice. And you hopefully take the advice, right?
Yeah.
You don't go to the plumber for the advice about why you're sick, do you?
No.
No. And that's the key thing. So when we treat your clients, and you treat every single one of them, okay, be a professional and give professional advice. All right? Now, a lot of times when I do a consultation, okay, what I say is, instead of, a lot of times I hear in barbershops, you know, what do you guys say? Hello, mate, what do you want? What do you want done? Yeah? Well, that's like me going to, like, Taco Bell. You know, oh yeah, give me, 2 taco supremes. You know, and hold the cheese. But the thing is, how about this? Hi, how you doing, man? I'm Sid. What's your name?
Jason.
Hi, Jason. So, are you here today for something set in your mind, or are you open to some of my suggestions?
Well, I would have said set in my mind how I would have it, but whatever you...
Yeah, he's mine! Yeah. Now, going back to, thank you, Jason. Going back to the gentleman, what's your name, dude?
Jason.
Jason as well, perfect. Makes my life easier. All right, so Jason, going back to growth patterns, you know, how we work with it and everything. That is also a lot of times, okay, I do have some general rules or things I could share with you. You know, today, you know, what the whole purpose of today is I'm going to try and share with you my, you know, of course, my hope, my strength, and my experience with you. You know, give you some, you know, guidelines that maybe I might follow. But a lot of it, especially with growth patterns and dealing with different type of textures, that also comes with experience and time, meaning your own. Okay. Now, a lot of times when dealing with different type of growth patterns, so for example, when you have kind of like, you know, just imagine like, okay, you know, like Harry Potter, where it just grows in every single different direction. All right. So how would you deal with that? Would you try and do something really smooth? No.
Messy.
Huh? A bit more messy, right? So when you have irregular growth patterns, you might want to work with it a bit more messier. Okay. What happens if the hair grows back and he wants more of like a French crop going forward? What do?
Cut it longer at the front and then shorter going to the
No,
crown.
no, no. The client now, okay? The client's natural hair grows back. Yeah? But he wants something forward. Yeah?
Advise him that obviously once, even if you style it forward, it's probably lift back.
Yeah? See, the thing is, yeah, exactly. Advice to give the advice to the client that it will, you know, once again, his direction of hair growth is not really going to be suitable for that. You know, open up your mouth, guys. It doesn't cost you anything. The only thing you're going to waste is oxygen. You know, so be the professional barber. Okay, for example, you know, we also have to realize, is it so much about the hair growth or is it also the shape of the skull? Yeah, it's a lot of it. Now, if you look at mine, when we break it down, my background, I'm you know, long story short, I'm half German, half Polish, and I have Eastern European background, so I have a very large parietal ridge, fine texture, big ass forehead, you know, that's my bone, that's my head shape, you know. When we take a look at, let's see, Oriental such as Japanese, you know, usually little to no occipital bone area. When we look at African Caribbean head shapes, oh my God, it's absolutely perfect. Oh my God, it looks amazing. Almost like Michael Jordan, the basketball player. You know, Caucasian men, we have the most bizarre head shapes. All right, we've got bumps and everything everywhere. So really, as well, examine the head shapes at all costs. You know what I mean? Really feel the head shapes. You know, when you're doing a consultation, of course, you know, we're supposed to look for any, you know, open wounds, any nits or anything like that, you know, any areas of concern, look at growth patterns, but at the same time, is feel his watermelon, all right? Feel the shape of his skull, all right? Because that will also affect your fate. Yes?
When I've been doing haircuts on people,
Yeah.
I've like, when you feel the bone at the back of their head,
Yeah.
like, it does help your haircut, but it does feel weird just put like feeling around their head just to feel that bone.
Yeah, okay. In the beginning it will. Especially when you're starting off, you're thinking, sorry, do you mind if I touch it? You're thinking, like, you know, especially because you're like, if you're just starting off, if you're a guy and a guy, you're thinking, oh my God, he's going to think I'm running away to Vegas with him. We're going to get married. No. Remember, you have to realize you have a job to do. Okay? It's also when you realize, especially if you do wet shaving and you do facials to guys, you're going to have to get, you're starting to get into the personal space, all right? But always remember, you have a job to do, all right? So feeling the head shape, all right? Okay? You know, especially the thing is, we have to touch the guys, you know? So it's going to feel weird at first, I'll be honest with you. But it will help you, okay?
And it definitely helps.
Yeah. It definitely will. I definitely strongly recommend. Make sure you touch the head shapes, yeah? I mean, don't go overboard. You know, just do enough, right? You know, you don't want to think you're a bit of a freak or anything. So head shapes really matter. Now, I will be talking about head shapes, especially when designing different type of fades for different type of head shapes. So let's first, what I'm going to do is I'm first going to talk about the clippers we use. Okay. Can I, Julie?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Can I have a PowerPoint up here. Let me get up. So do you guys have a preference, scissors versus clippers yet?
Scissors.
Okay, let's do a group vote. Who says scissors? Alright, ooh, okay. Who says clippers? Who says they're thinking about going to McDonald's instead?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, let's try. I mean, okay, what time am I here till today?
Whenever you want.
Okay.
I can take it home, I might just take it home and not let it go back.
Cheers, Dirty.
Talking about toilet.
It's gonna be one of those days, I know. Okay. All right, guys. And also, when I want to change it, what do? Just touch the screen?
Just touch the screen.
Wicked. Next video. Yeah. Okay. So, I really want to break it down, learning about the clippers first, learning about the machines. Just want to make sure it's like fully, you have a better understanding about them. And then we're going to talk about the head shape with fading and the different type of fades, and also the different type of techniques. Now, okay, when I was training back in the day, especially in America, you would actually pretty much have 3 primary tools, or the machines. You would actually have a detachable blade clipper, okay? Now this one here, okay, this one actually is detachable blade, so you would actually have different sizes. And we're going to talk about the sizes as well, and the importance of them. So if you can see, they're actually kind of like different sizes here. Okay. Now the purpose of these, this is like, for example, if I use these clippers, and if I gave all of you my haircut, I could probably do it, if I really worked hard, probably within 15 minutes. Yeah, they're actually really quite strong and powerful. So I use this a lot for bulk work, okay? Now, but the reason why, it's got something called a rotary motor, okay? There's actually 3 different motors we have in the world of barbering. Primarily, we have rotary, pivot, and magnetic. And I'll talk about those in a little bit. Primarily, everything that you have is cordless. About, I'd say 99.9% of the market is rotary motor. Okay. What clippers do you guys have?
They've got those ones, and they've got the one that's the corded version of it.
Yeah.
The red one.
Perfect. Okay, now the other set of tools will be something called, okay, an adjustable blade clipper. Okay? Alright. Now, with these, okay, if you see that how that lever, okay, if I put the lever up, that blade, okay, is called a closed blade. When I put the lever down, that's called an open blade. Alright, so this might seem like more like American slang, but this is something that we use in my academy in Nottingham. Just open and closed. Okay. Now, for some of you, what I used to teach was that, especially sometimes my students found it a little bit hard to remember, what's the difference. Now, when I put the lever down, okay, what would happen is, does it kind of look like you can see the blade and the guard in the back, right? It kind of looks like a pitchfork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, what happens is when I keep the lever up, it's closed, which is the shortest length, and when I put the lever down, it goes. You can cut it so it's longer. All right. Now, with this particular clipper, with the amount of space, it goes from a 0 millimeter down to a 3 millimeter. Back in the day, it used to go from a 0 to 1.5, which is slang for half. So what I used to say was that when you put the lever down, you are halfway to hell. Because if you see, it kind of looks like a pitchfork. And who's got a pitchfork? The devil. Right? So that's what I used to say. So. But remember, when the lever is up, it's closed where it's the shortest. And when you put the lever down, okay, it's going to be open, it's going to be longer. Now, we will talk about the different type of blades as well. Okay, so this blade is different than this blade. Okay, let's take a look. Sir, can you see the difference there at all? This is here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what's the difference? Is one a little bit more straighter
Yeah, I'm more straight now, but it's
and a bit more beveled?
yeah,
Yeah, cool. What's your name?
Kendall.
All right, Kendall. Thank you, dude. All right, so that's a beveled blade. Okay, that's primarily what majority of most of your clippers are. Okay, now the other one's called a fade blade. Okay, yeah, and we'll talk about what the difference is, and also there's actually a different technique of using them as well. Because I couldn't just use these as you normally do, take off bulk. All right, when you're taking the hair down. No, you couldn't just be doing it like a C motion at all. You couldn't. All right, you could actually really hurt the guy. So there's a bevel blade and also the flat blade, which is the fade blade. Okay. Now the other machines that we use in barbering, okay, of course, we have your trimmers, or you call them detailers, T-outliners, whatever. Okay. Now for me, so these are, two different styles here. What's the difference, you think?
One's more powerful.
What's that?
One's more powerful.
Slightly.
One's got a wider.
Yes. Yeah. So one's a little bit more wider than the other. Okay. Now this is called a T-blade design. Right? The reason why? Because it looks like a T. Yeah. And so we use this for exactly going around the ears, doing facial hair design. Like yours, like really edging that up, really sharpening this up here. Now even the way they're actually designed, like this is the Slimline Pro. The way it's designed, it's got a little curvature. That's where you put your fingers. That's why they're designed like that. Put your fingers there. So when you're actually doing your shaping up or your edging up. Okay. Now with the wider one, this is quite good, especially one if the guy has a fat head or like a wide surface. I would actually tend to use this one. All right. Sometimes if I'm doing like a very strong shape up straight across, I tend to use the wider one. When I'm doing more of the real arching, I tend to use more of a smaller one. Okay? If I'm by the mustache area, I use a smaller one. If I'm around here, I might use the bigger one. So. Do you need to have both in your arsenal? No, you don't. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and just force a million clippers down your throat. You don't need both of them, but eventually, as you become more experienced in the world of barbering, you might need to have some extra kit. Okay. And of course, yeah, what are these, guys? Yes, oh my God, everyone, all the barbers know about them now, all right? But here in the UK, they've only been around for the last, maybe give or take, about 4 or 5 years, yeah? In America, a little bit longer, all right? Now, for me, when you're doing these, now this is like an electric shaver, and these are great for when you're doing bald fades, or if you're doing women's haircuts, like doing like a graduated bob or anything, and they have some bump fluff on them, yeah, some like little loose hairs. Just use that, all right? They're quite good. I bought a few of these when I was at London Fashion Week, because what's good about these is especially when you're working on the models, if you're doing a photo shoot, you don't want to have to use a straight razor, which could possibly, if you're under stress or if it's quite hectic, or if you're trying to prevent any irritation, you definitely use these. Okay, these are quite good for young skin. Okay, but if I'm doing something a bit more vintage or a bit more older gentleman, and the guy wants like a razor fade or a bald fade, we use a straight razor instead. Okay, so these are quite good for younger skin, more trendy, contemporary haircuts. So that's just how I see it. That's how I kind of distinguish everything myself. Okay, I'm not saying you can't use those on an old fart. You can. It's just personally. I just prefer using a straight razor. It's just my little cup of tea, I guess. So. Cool. Cool. Any questions so far? Anything about them so far? Yes.
If we're limited, of course, we're still a student,
Yeah, of course.
so we don't have money. So I just want to compare those two.
No, I'm joking.
Which one is the best
Yeah.
for us to?
I'll be honest with you, I'd probably go with this one right here for you. The reason why, what's your name, sweetheart?
Grace.
Hi, Grace. I'm Sid. So the reason why I'll go with this one is because it's got a beveled blade. Yeah, the blade, it goes like woohoo, and it's a lot lighter. Ah, wicked. So I would recommend that one for you, and plus it's quite light. It's like a very light weight to it. Well, the Master here, okay, it's a bit more heavy. So this is the same. This one is the same weight as that one. Okay, so if you feel a difference. Yeah, please. You guys could pass it around. Yeah.
Have you ever used the walls before?
Yeah, of course. I used to work for Walt too. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, guys, the funniest thing is, right? And if I can speak frank and no one turns me in, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah. Okay. Whatever clipper you use, right, doesn't necessarily make you the better barber. It's what you do with it. Okay. You know, the reason why I work with Andis is a lot because I've used all brands. I've used Babyliss, Panasonic, Wall, Kimi. I've used everything. Oster, yeah. I've used it all.
A lot of people in like actual, when you go to a barber shop, most people have got like your normal wall thingy,
Yeah,
magic clip, don't they?
yeah. So magic clips are really good, but my experience, they might last you about, if you're lucky, a year. All right, they're a bit quite plasticky.
Yeah, they are.
The blade is really nice. It's got something called a crunch blade, which is like almost like crisscross. But the actual clipper, I mean, if you're doing the magic clip as well, it's not strong enough for going through like thick hair, like doing bulk work.
Yeah, when I've noticed when I've chopped swipe and I've been knocking the bolt down a bit, it catches a little bit.
Yeah. It's not designed for that. Yeah.
What's your opinion on the seniors?
The seniors, I think they're great. The only thing is, it's me personally. See, I'm American, so I love a bit more of a heavier clipper. So, like for me, the Master, which is that silver one, is my preference because I like a bit more weight to it. The seniors are great, but I think me personally, I'm just not a big fan of the blade because it's not a crunch blade. It's more like it's like a fade blade, but it's not towards my liking. I like a bit more, a bit more bevel, a tiny bit. So, the end of the day, guys, all these brands, all right, all these clippers, yeah. It's kind of like this. How I see it as I remember, yeah. I mean, all the equipment I use is Apple in my life. Yeah, I got Apple phones. I got whatever the things, the laptops, the iPads, whatever. But you know what? So it's like that's all I use. Yeah. So I buy 5 laptops for my business. Yeah. But one of them breaks. Are you with me? So like what I mean is like, it's like sometimes when you get something, and you know you might get a clipper that lasts you 3 days, but you might have a clipper that lasts you a lifetime.
Yeah.
Are you with me? So it's kind of like,
You get used to stuff like that.
yeah. The thing is personally, like versus Wall and Andis, like the cordless, that's a wider shell, while the Wall Magic Clip is it's like Andis on a diet plan. It's like skinny. That's the only thing. So if you got bigger hands, if you use a Wall, it's gonna feel like you're using like chopsticks, you know. That's the thing is, guys. I mean, if you are, who's left-handed here? Anyone? Any lefties? Yeah, right.
I'm left with my clippers and right with my scissors.
Oh, that's cool.
A bit backwards, but
Yeah, well, if it
seems
works
to
for
work.
dude, if it works for you, it works for you, mate. Yeah. How's it working with clippers with being lefty?
Alright, yeah, alright.
I'm finding it hard, but I'm much better with the scissors at doing the balancing it on my little finger and flicking it and just can't get it right.
Yeah. Yeah. The I think being a lefty as well, it's like sometimes there's a lot of clippers the way it's almost like a righty.
Yeah.
You know. There are clippers out there. There's one from Panasonic where the disc, the lever is in the middle. There's also Wall and Andis make them where the lever is in the middle as well, but it's behind the guard or the blade to help with lefties. So I think the thing is, you will have to adjust. You know, what you do is you just have to keep at it, and you'll get used to your being a lefty with a righty clipper.
I prefer the right-handed scissors because I've got left-handed scissors now as well, but I prefer
Yeah.
using the right-handed.
A lot of lefties say that. So a lot of times, guys, when if you're a lefty and you're watching me just say doing the demonstration, look in the mirror. It'll be reversed. So that will help you out a little bit. How many more lefties? Any more lefties over here? No, just it's like you three over here. Okay, that's actually not bad. Okay. This is so, I gotta get one of these. Okay, so
I get well confused mixing millimetres, I mean.
yeah.
On the Andes guard thing,
Yeah.
it's different than when you're on the wall, so you've just got numbers.
Yeah. Well, what do those numbers actually mean? So, number 4. Yeah.
Are they an eighth of an inch each?
Oh,
Each number?
yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I've lived 17 years in England. I don't even talk in inches anymore. I'm a switch over to millimeters or whatever. But yes and no, sort of. What this means is, okay. The old school way of these guards when they first came out, you see this one has what number is that, buddy? The big number.
3.
Yeah, what does that mean? That actually means 3 weeks of growth. This is the old, so if you talk to an old school barber, they'll tell you this. A number 4 is 4 weeks of growth. 3 is 3 weeks. 2, 2 weeks. 1, 1 week. And 0 is, yeah. How much does hair grow per month?
1.25.
Alright. Okay, this is when I go back to being American, half an inch on the average person. So that's on the average person, half an inch per month. A lot of times I'll do a consultation with the gentleman. How you doing, sir? You alright? Cool. So we're gonna be cutting your hair today, yeah? Okay. And what I do sometimes when I look back, and what do? I look at his hair growth in the back hairline. I say, okay, so it's probably been about possibly about 2 weeks since your last haircut or so? Yeah, right? How did I know? I looked at the back hairline, I see how much grew, and then I calculate in my head, alright, so I know half an inch per month, and I kind of like halved it, right? And then when I say about 2 weeks, I sound pretty cool when I say that. Yeah, I did. Yeah. So I can sound like an expert, but all I did was I just took a little nosy in the back. When they start shaving it themselves, you know, and that's when it kind of like, oh great, it kind of throws me off. But with guards, so if the gentleman says number 4, okay, which is about 13 mil or half an inch, okay, that actually means the number 4 guard is actually 4 weeks of growth, okay. Now, so we actually have the number system. Now, what we have to keep in mind, all right, now, remember the number order, all right? A lot of times what happens is, when I'm teaching my students, and they're doing a haircut, yeah, all right? And they're like, oh, I can't blend it, Sid, yeah? Okay, think simple, all right? Now, okay, you did a number 2 here. You did a 0 here, all right? Okay, what's in between a 2 and a 0?
1.
Yeah, what else?
0.5.
Yeah, right? You see how it works, just the process of elimination. So if you did a number 2, all right, a number 2 here, and a 0 here, all right, and you got a little bit of a bump, a little bit, you know, weight, all right? Oh, almost, come on. All right, between a 2 and a 0, it's a process of elimination. A lot of times, right, when we're thinking, oh, it can't be that. That's too simple. No, but that's it, guys. Yeah. All right. Just remember, it's a process of elimination. Okay. See which one it is. Okay. So we talked about the sizes. Yeah. We also talked about the technique itself. Now, a lot of times, when I'm doing, just say, a clipper haircut, okay, now we have about 2 different ways about, especially with are hand movements. Okay? Usually when I'm doing something called the guideline, okay, I tend to really kind of, it's called stretching the fade. Alright? So when I'm over, especially by the parietal ridge area here, okay, I'll be actually using more of my arm in a straighter movement, going upwards. And that's something called stretching the fade. But then when I put something called my baseline in, which is the shortest area, you might see me do more of my hand movement. Okay? So shorter strokes. And then when I'm blending, okay, you'll see as well, still shorter, but also I'm going more of an angle. Okay? I think the key thing is a lot of times when I'm doing clipper work, I tend to always kind of veer off at a slight little angle, alright, when I'm doing it. Why?
You don't
With
want
the
line
edge, yeah.
it.
Yeah. Why? But no, let's get more technical. Why?
Make it look natural.
Make it look natural? What, now guys, let's
So
not
when you move on
forget.
to the next bit, you've not got as much work to do. You've not-
Yeah, but okay, now what I'm really getting at, yeah, what type of surface are we working on?
Flat surface.
Flat? Yeah, well,
Relatively.
no. What?
Round.
Who said round? You go. Yes. We're working on a round surface. Now what happens is, sorry. What happens is, if we're going straight up the whole time like that, to say if that's the head shape, and you're looking at a bird's eye view, going like that, it's going to end up looking like a hexagon, right? Because you're leaving little corners. But if you do it at an angle, you're like buffing, like that. All right. So when you're doing your clipper work, remember your thumb is the steering wheel of the clipper. All right. So your thumb will guide you, okay, or control it. All right. Another thing as well, when we're also doing blending, yeah, you're not using the full blade. All right. Maybe just use more of the corners, about 3 or 4 teeth. By doing that, okay, you'll see you're going to be almost like not chipping away, but like polishing off that line, or you need to blend with. Okay. A lot of times I also do, when if I hit a bump or a little dark patch, a lot of times I might just use the corner of my clipper blade, and also something called point cutting, like you also do with scissors. Yeah? What I do is I chip into that darkness. Because in my eyes, fading is shading. Yeah. Well, we look on Instagram, we see, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's great, especially teaching people, but is that reality? No! Alright, because a lot of times, yeah, you got a tattoo, dude, right?
Yeah.
Cool, may I see your right hand? So you got some black and white, oh sorry, well mine, yeah.
Last laugh, yeah.
So you have some black and gray, some shading, right?
Yeah.
Now when they were doing that tattoo, it's so crazy when you get tattooed, right? Because you're looking at the tattoo artist and they're going like this, and you're thinking they're going to screw up.
Yeah.
But then they wipe it off and they're like, wow, it's perfect. What they're doing is shading, yeah? And that's what we're doing with the fade, okay? It's all about shading, working with the color, okay? The key thing is really working with the color. And of course, that's when we have to work with the shape of the skull, the little dips, the growth patterns, yeah? It's a big one over here, all right? Really step back from your client and look at the color, all right? Look at different light, turn the chair around. You know, in England, America, this is how we have the chair. So it's facing, the back of it's facing the mirror, yeah? Well, back in my day, we didn't have cordless, we had corded. So that meant the cord was a lot closer to me, yeah? And also I'm utilizing the mirror, which is my third eye, okay? So then I will move around, okay? Even when we're doing clipper work, okay, a little helpful thing that I do. Now, just say if you're working around the head, all right, a lot of times what I like to do is I'm kind of swinging, all right? Because what happens is, as soon as I put my right, I move, boom, I can create almost a line again, or a bump. Because when I'm doing this here, moving, all right, it's going to have a bit more like a fluid blend to it, all right? So I'm moving like almost dancing, okay? But as soon as I go here, boom, what I'm doing is, because it's like here to here, all right? There's going to be a little corner here. So I want to put more like a smoother movement. Okay? Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Yeah? So I'm just trying to put, it's like, I really don't know what time I'm leaving, but I'm just trying to put as much knowledge as possible. So if you have any questions, or if you hate me, don't tell me. Don't tell me, I'll probably break down and cry. Yeah,
So I generally.
well, first of all, what's your name?
It's Himesh.
Hey, Max, what's up, dude?
Hi,
I'm Sid.
it's Sid. Nice to meet you. When I finish,
Yeah.
I generally, on my chocolate side, which is like your
I'm
bad
sorry,
side.
you what?
Is that right, Julie?
No, it's a Judaism of chocolate side.
Okay, Julia's been drinking again. Alright.
So on my bad side, really.
Okay,
So
yeah, cool.
Everyone has a good side and a bad side. So, I'll generally, at this part of the hair,
Yeah?
I kind of struggle.
Okay,
When I
cool.
watch Julie.
So you're right-handed?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so, right there, so we're gonna, Julie, I really gotta talk to you later, so the chocolate is bad?
No, chocolate's the good side.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody has a chocolate side.
I've got
You have a side that
Everybody
people
loves-
prefer working on and do better,
Okay.
I tend to find.
Okay, so how much,
Himesh.
Okay, how much? Okay, so what happens is, so what I would strongly recommend, right, so if you're right-handed, most likely your left side is the hardest for you. So in order to fix that problem, the best thing to do is start on your left, every haircut. Until, right, well, the reason why, because what happens is when you deal with the chocolate or the, I don't know, the opposite of chocolate, the crap, all, like right from the beginning, over and over and over, eventually it's no longer going to be the hard side anymore because you're used to it. Are you with me? You're breaking a bad habit. You know, it's like smoking, right? You gotta get through the first 3 days, and then you'll be better, right? I can't, but yeah, I've tried many times. I do vape, I smoke, and I do both now. But what I would recommend is to really start on your left side. Yeah. Now what I do as well. Okay, actually, let me just go back here for a sec. Now, what happens is now. Really about understanding. So we have the clippers, especially the attachments, okay? Then the guards. And then when we get down, right, so a lot of times, like, just to help with the, like, communication or wording, the way I break down haircuts, to say if the gentleman says he wants a skin fade, to me, that's doing it with a closed blade with the clippers. Yeah, okay? Now, when he wants a bald fade, okay, then of course he's having it done with the shavers and, the foils, yeah? Okay. Now, what exactly is a fade to you? Okay? The definition of a fade is how the hair color fades into the skin. Yeah? Now, for me personally, it's usually from a number 2, 6 millimeter, right? Downwards. I call the fade zone. Now, the reason why for a number I hate this thing now.
That's the downside of them.
Now the reason why I say from a number 2 is because that's when we start seeing scalp exposure. Okay? Alright? When you see it, like number 3, number 4, if the guy said to you, I want a number 3 fade, that's not a fade to me. You know what I mean? I need to see it from a number 2 downwards. Okay? That to me is a fade. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now remember the order of the machines. So especially this will help you when doing a bold fade. So we got the clippers, the trimmers, and then the foils. Alright? Okay. If I take this and use the foils on your hair right now, it's not going to do anything. No. And that it might pull. It's not going to do anything. No. It's like pointless, like my ex-wife. Yeah. Now. So what I would have to do first, I would actually have to use the clippers, then use the trimmers, and then the foils. Okay? So everything there is everything there for a reason. Okay? Everything there is for purpose. Okay. Let's talk about fades. The heights. Now this is okay. Now everything, guys, everything I'm saying to you, yeah? Okay? You know, okay, right away I'm going to tell you, listen, I am not the world's best barber. Alright? I'm not here sitting on a pedestal telling you who I am. I'm not. Okay?